Hello, Namaskar. So in this lecture we would see about drift of electrons and what is the origin of resistivity. We'll have a conceptual background how the origin of drift of electrons happens in conductors and how the resistivity comes into picture when we are talking about at microscopic level. So let's begin. So as we had seen that in metal we have lots of atoms together, right? So we have millions of atoms inside, right? And as we had discussed that when electrons is moving, that can move from one atom to one other atom, or molecule to other molecule, and they can just keep moving from one place to other place. But when they move, it's not like they are not encountering the positive ions and nucleus and all, right? So they will have a collision with that, and they will not move in a particular direction. They will move random here, they can go here, they can go here, right? So if you talk about in general, so you can have some motion like this, right, where they can have some zigzag motion. So they started at A and they reached to B, and this is all random motion for that. So if you talk about if there are n electrons in this let's say in a given volume, then you'll find that the average velocity of electrons is sum up to 0 because they are because of the randomness of their velocity. So you can write 1 upon n summation of vi is equal to 0, right? So this is the total average velocity in a given direction for due to this electron is always going to be 0. But if you apply a electric field, right? So now if you apply electric field, let's say in this direction, so you find still their motion will be random, but there will be a slight displacement in this motion where they can have at the end, let's say they follow this and they're slightly moving, and then you can have a slight displacement in a given direction due to the electric field. So it means that if you apply electric field, they will have a net displacement in a given direction depending upon the electric field direction. And in that case, let's say if you calculate the force, right, if the charge is electron, if this is electron, always we are talking about conductor about free electrons, right? So the charge of electron is minus E, and if there is electric field, then this is the force, and it will act like if mass of electron is m, and they are associated with the acceleration A, then this will be the equation for electric field equal to that acceleration and the mass that we know. So it would mean that the acceleration they will get due to this electric field would be A is equal to minus E upon m, right? And where m is the mass of electron and E is the electron charge and E is the electric field here, right? So this is what they get acceleration, and then they will be moving in this direction. Now let's consider a time ti. At time ti is the time, let's say at a given time there is just a collision, and after that just ti time has passed, right? And just after the collision, if the velocity was vi of a given electron, then if you want to calculate that what would be the velocity after time just after the collision the ti, then you can utilize the Newton's law, right? V is equal to u plus at, right? What would be the velocity if the initial velocity is u after time t. So if you put this equation here, then we can, let's say this is the electron velocity after just after the collision after time ti, where just before the collision if the velocity was vi and I will just add plus a we have just calculated here, so it becomes minus E upon m, right? And you multiply by ti. So this is the velocity you get for an electron when you have a just collision happened, right? So now if you talk about this is just an electron, but if you talk about n electrons, then we just have to take an average of it, and then you will get that what is the average velocity just after the collision. So before that, let's introduce one more term, and that we call it tau. Tau is that when we are talking about electrons, so these electrons are colliding from one electron to other electron, and this electron collision is not at periodic interval. It's not that after a certain interval, they collide at different time intervals, and that is also random. But we can have a average value which we call it relaxation time, right? this is the time between the two collisions, and if you talk about the n number of electrons, then the average would be equal to let's say tau, right? So at a given time, just we talked about the just of the collision after Ti time. If you take collision, so there may be n number of electrons where they have just passed the time Ti is greater than tau, and for some it would be Ti is less than tau, right? But on average, if we talk, so we can take that Ti average, that would be for all electrons, that would be somewhere tau. So if this is the condition, then we can just modify and take the average of it to find out that what would be the velocity of the average velocity after time Ti. So let's say that is velocity Vd if we represent it, and then we can have a Vi average minus Ee, that would be a constant obviously, and then Ti average, right? So if you see now, as I said that tau average would be tau and Vi average is 0 as you have seen above, so it will become Vd is equal to minus Ee upon m tau, right? So see how beautiful equation we have got from this randomness of the motion and randomness of the collision of the electron, and where you can see that this is this is independent of time, and that's a really beautiful observation here. And this phenomena is called drift, and the velocity Vd is called drift velocity. So now you can see that, as we saw, that due to this drift there will be a net motion in the direction of electric field, which would record the displacement, and of course if there is a displacement, it means there is a charge constituted because of this. So this is how you can see that how the charge is going to come into picture, motion and the correct in that direction. Now let's find out the relation. Now just we have calculated before that J is equal to sigma A. From that relation, if you find out that the conductivity, where we are talking about origin of resistivity, so of course it is the inverse of conductivity. So let's have a relation that how we can find out for that. So for that, let's say you have a planar surface in a metal, which is something like this, where you have a electron, let's say electric field is in that direction, then electron will obviously move in that direction. And let's say this is the delta x, so if the drift velocity at delta t interval, so this will be the distance covered by that electron in a given direction, right? If after interval delta t, if they are moving with the drift velocity which is independent of time, right? So this should be the velocity, and let's say if this is a cross sectional area, then the total volume of this element would be V, would be A into Vd into delta t, because this is that per unit in delta t interval the total volume covered by that electron. If the number of electrons in this volume is n per unit volume, then the total number of electrons in this unit can be written as, that would be written as n into A Vd into delta t, right? Okay, and if this is the charge, the total charge of electron is minus E, so total charge crossing this distance at a given point of time would be what? It can be multiplied by E, so it can be minus En A Vd delta t. And now we are talking about electric field, and of course the electron motion is opposite to that. So if we talk about that in the direction of electric field, what would be the total charge motion in a given direction? So you just have to make the positive, right? So the total current into delta time, that would be the charge per unit time. If you talk about that move from one place to other place, so that would be equated to let it become plus n E A Vd, that is of course the mod magnitude of it, and the delta t, right? So if you take delta t will be cancelled out, so if you calculate this, so you will get I is equal to n E A mod of Vd, right? And now if I utilize the equation we just got from here, the equation V dependence upon electric field line, when we have applied that, so it will become n E A into E minus, it will become minus E, let's bring that here, E upon m tau, right? So this is the equation you get. And here let's talk about the electric field and the magnitude of electric field. And here we have taken a mod, right? So here it will be plus, right? Here we are just talking about magnitude, that what would be the current moving. So we'll just take a positive of it. And then this is again the magnitude electric field, so we are not talking about direction, so we will just take magnitude. So if you see, you can have this as NEA E mod of electric field upon m tau. So again you utilize the equation I by A as J, so the current density. So let's say we can write J is equal to this I by A will replace, so it becomes NE E and E here, so it becomes NE square tau upon m mod of E, right? Now let's arrange a little. This is about the magnitude, because we are always taking the magnitude here from here, not talking about direction. So that will be. So when we talk about the magnitude form, vector forms, it becomes mod vector J is equal to NE square m tau, and then you just remove the magnitude, so it becomes the vector. So this is so how good relation you got from this, starting from the randomness and equations, simple equations. Now if I equate this with the what we had discussed before about this, so we'll get the sigma is equal to NE square upon m tau, right? So see how beautiful equation you got starting from that and utilizing the Ohm's law, where you have got this relation that the conductivity will depend upon the mass of electron, electric charge, number of electrons per unit volume, and the relaxation time. So this is that now you have a mathematical model to calculate that what would be the conductivity, and hence you can get resistivity as well, because it is 1 upon sigma. So what is the resistivity of a material, and what are the factors on which they depend. Also you can see here we are talking about the coming back to this equation, the drift velocity. Let's say if you write the drift velocity that we have just got, so it is minus E upon m tau. This is what you had got. So we are talking about sometimes we just make it independent of electric field, because here we are talking about conductors and it have only free electrons, but there are cases where you can have ions, like ionized ions, or electrons, protons. So they can have all different term, and they will have a different drift velocity depending upon the electric field. So let's say we can also define a quantity called mobility, where we can say that per unit electric field what would be the mobility for a different type of charges. So in this case, if we define mobility, we represent it mu. So for mu we can have define mu is equal to drift velocity per unit electric field, and that will be given as the magnitude we take here, and the unit for this is you can write meter square per volt second. So this is what you get. Typically in practical units we sometimes use centimeter square volt second as well, because we are talking about a very small area. So typically the length we represent in centimeter square, so this will be of the that order. So the final expression of mobility can be written as Vd if you take, so it can be E upon m tau upon E, so you can get E tau by m, right? So the mobility factor comes into picture. It is depending upon the charge, relaxation time, and m, where tau is the average time between the two collisions. So now we have the expression of drift velocity, it is minus E upon m tau, and then you got the relations of J is equal to NE square tau by m, NE square tau by m E, where you replace it that, so you got the conductivity relation NE square tau by m, right? So you have one expression here from this discussion, you have the other one here, and then you got the term mobility term. So this is that three important equation we got starting from the Ohm's law and that origin of drift velocity, and now how to calculate the resistivity, what are the factors they depend on, and also the introduction of the mobility, where you find out the drift velocity per unit electric field. So this is about the drift velocity, origin of the drift of the electrons, and origin of resistivity and the factors they depend on. So this is all about for this part, and we'll discuss again next for the derivation of Ohm's laws. Of course, everything till now we have discussed that is based on that if they are following the Ohm's law, but now there are cases where you will not find that Ohm's law is being satisfied. So in that cases, what would be the what are those situations? So we'll discuss that in our lecture. See you there. Thank you.